1 in 4 women. 1 in 4 women will experience a domestic violence relationship in her lifetime. Domestic violence is the leading cause of injury to a woman, more than car accidents, muggings, and rapes combined. 85% of reported victims are female, while 15% are male. Today, I will be sharing the 8 different types of abuse, the causes it has on the victims, and the possible solutions to help this cause. So first, what is domestic violence? According to the United States Department of Justice, domestic violence is defined as a pattern of abusive behavior in any relationship that is used by one partner to gain or maintain power and control over the other intimate partner. There's 8 different types of abuse in a domestic violence relationship. These include physical, verbal, emotional, mental, sexual, social, financial, and medical. First, the most common is physical abuse, which consists of kicking, hitting, scratching, or causing any type of injury or trauma to the victim. Next is verbal abuse. No one wants to hear the person you love call you disgusting names, but with verbal abuse, this is a daily activity. Cussing their partner out for no reason or just being downright mean, this abuse can be one of the most painful for the victim. The next 2 types of abuse are very similar, emotional and mental. This is the victim's worst nightmare, letting them get into their head. This abuse can have the partner make the victim do or act however they please. This abuse is really all a mind game. Then we have sexual abuse. This is defined as an undesirable sexual behavior by one person's upon the other. It contains much force, and in other words, it can make this person be defined as a molester. Social abuse happens in the so-called honeymoon stage, where they want to spend all their time with you. You end up losing friends, family members, and the abuser has you right where he wants you. Financially, the abuser can ruin the other person's life, whether that be making the victim quit their job or ruin them in other financial situations. And lastly, we have medical abuse, not letting the victim take their pills, causing them to become sick and not seek help, or even causing the victim to die. So now that we've talked about all the different types of abuse in a domestic violence relationship, now we're going to talk about the effects it has on the victims. According to the Joyful Heart Foundation, individuals who have experienced domestic violence are continuously in the process of healing, both physically and emotionally, from the multiple traumas. These relationships really do change the victim for the rest of their lives and will forever be scarred. From the trauma of past domestic violence relationships can cause the victim to believe that they are all the same. They tend to have trust issues, become very standoffish, will become more insecure with themselves, and have many more mental thoughts. Many like to wonder, why don't you just leave? Well, the answer is not that simple. According to loveisrespect.org, it lists many reasons on why victims do not leave. The first reason is fear. Not sure what will happen if you leave, and afraid you or your family might be in danger. Second is embarrassment. Many domestic violence relationships go unreported because people are afraid of getting judged. And third, and the most important, is love. They have deep love for the person and just are in a vicious cycle and they can't escape from it. But just because the violence is happening for one victim, it also affects others as well, such as children. 1 in 15 children are exposed to intimate partner violence each year, and 90% of these are eyewitnesses. According to the domesticviolenceroundtable.org, it states studies show that 3 to 4 million children between the ages of 3 to 17 are at risk of exposure to domestic violence each year. Studies have even shown that the younger a child is exposed to domestic violence, the more it affects their brain development. Experiencing emotional stress at a young age, children all over the world are experiencing secondhand domestic violence, which needs to be stopped. So what can we do to help? Many people have teamed up to stop the violence. The NCADV, or the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, is a voice of victims and survivors. It helps the people who went through or might still be experiencing domestic violence. They're trying to change the society and have zero tolerance for domestic violence. Many other organizations are working together to create a voice and do something about this crime. Just getting the word out or spreading information about it is helping. There's dozens of 24-hour hotlines people can call just if they need someone to talk to. Domestic violence is not rare. You are not alone. We can all come together and make our voices be heard to stop this terrible crime. Break the silence and stop the violence.